Hey, what's up guys? This video is all about budget in the Philippines. I just got back here a couple of weeks ago and it's all I'm thinking about is what kind of setup can I get here? My plan is to get a home base in the Dumaguete area, not Dumaguete City. I'm talking like Valencia, maybe Darwin. I really like the Valencia area. By the way, most people that live in Dumaguete don't actually live in Dumaguete City. They end up living in a place outside of the city because it's kind of congested down there. Dumaguete City has some good stuff, don't get me wrong. But after a while, it kind of gets old and you want to just be on the outskirts and go in there whenever you need to and then come back out where it's more chill and enjoyable. That's what I like, closer to nature, more peaceful. Anyway, so a lot of my thinking is about budget and what can I pull off? What kind of place can I get here on a lease to maximize my lifestyle, but also be within a budget that works for me? My plan is to stay here most of the time, but then take trips every once in a while to around the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, other countries in the region. And so I got to factor all that in. And one thing that I'm realizing now that I'm looking around is that if you really want to save and you want to get into a place that's quite cheap, once you go and look at it, this is where it kind of hits you, where you're like, okay, I can do this and it's going to save me a lot of money, but do I want to live here? Like, can I see myself being happy here like every day in this tiny little place that's kind of dark and just not super nice? To each their own. And this is the thing that you really have to figure out when you're coming out here and you're determining your budget. Just know that if you're on a limited budget, you know, the options are, they're not going to be at the standard that maybe you're hoping for. That's just the reality, but it depends on the person. I went to look at a place the other day that was like, I don't know, maybe it was like 300 US per month plus electricity and stuff. And I'm thinking, all right, I can do that. I'm going to save a ton of money. But when I'm there and I go inside, I knew immediately, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to live here. And the whole building, it was foreigners, right? So many foreigners live there and I'm sure they're happy with that. Or maybe they don't have a choice. I don't know. I do have some flexibility in my budget. I was paying about $2,000 a month for the last 2 years since I've been in the Philippines. And I've enjoyed that budget because I just do what I want. I travel, I've been in short-term rentals, Airbnbs. I do whatever, I go wherever. And so I'm okay at the $2,000 budget. My thing is I'm gonna have a home base, plus I'm gonna travel and keep the home base. So I have to kind of figure that out. Let me give you guys 3 sort of budget ranges and give you a sense of what things would look like in that budget, as far as maybe the accommodations and the lifestyle. The first sort of range budget would be between like 1,000 and 1,200. And even 1,000 is kind of pushing it, like 1,100 to 1,200. That's actually the number that my friend just gave me. That is his budget, and he's been doing it for several months. And his lifestyle here is a bit of a slow travel lifestyle around the Philippines. He'll go to an area, he'll find a place that's like month to month, and he'll stay there short term, but not like just for a few days, right? So he's in a place now that he describes, it's in Bacong. So it's outside of Dumaguete City. There's some industrial there. There's some stuff there. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like the nicest part of, it's not comparable to Valencia. I'd say Valencia is considered to be a nicer place than Bacong. He's staying there. He takes public transportation. The budget does not afford like renting a scooter every month. It's just tricycles and, you know, budget transportation. He takes buses to get around the Philippines, hops on ferries, things like that. And he's staying at a place that's like under 300. I think it's like 250 bucks a month. And he's like, it's simple. There's nothing exciting about it. It's comfortable enough. It's got air conditioning and it's got hot water for the shower, but it's pretty bare bones and it's just simple. And he's okay with that. Keep in mind, he's in his early 30s. You know, when I was younger, I didn't really care. I was staying in hostels and things like that. But, you know, a lot of times as we get older, our standards change. So if you're in that sort of 1,200, 1,100, your lifestyle here is going to be pretty basic. It's going to be basic. You're not going to have a lot of like fancy spending. And if you want to date, that budget, by the way, he said does not really include a lot of dating. So at this point, he's not spending a lot on that. He's not focused on that because that can add up too, right? Whether you have a full-time girlfriend or if you're just going out on dates. So you can pull it off, 1,100 to 1,200. Just don't expect too much. The sweet spot for most guys is when you hit 1,500 US. If you can hit 1,500 US, maybe 15 to 16, something right in that range, now you're able to step up your accommodations to a place that is a little bit nicer. You know, it's a decent place. Like you're pretty comfortable there. The furnishings are a little bit nicer. It's a little bit roomier, and it's probably in a better location. You're probably happy with where you're living. You're close to everything. It might have a pool. It might have some stuff. So that would include a scooter. That would include eating out when you want to. There's money left over for, taking a trip here and there. It's a good lifestyle. 15 to 1600. It's a decent lifestyle, and you're in a location that you're probably happy with. However, if you have a full-time girlfriend and you're used to a standard of living, not fancy, not high-end, but something that you need certain things, and you don't want to really worry about budgeting, you have to hit that 2K mark. Whether you're on your own or if you have a girlfriend, if you want to be traveling, you just don't want to worry about it, get a massage whenever you want, go out whenever you want. You can buy things when you need them. Whatever. At 2K, you can do most of what you want without sweating it at all. 2,000 to 2,200, you're very comfortable, and that can include a full-time girlfriend, no problem. And you're staying at a pretty decent place. Not a palace, but a nice place, a place that you're proud to live in. It could be a house, or it could be a nicer complex with a pool and amenities and stuff like that. So I would say those are your three main budget ranges that people fall into. And the biggest thing to know is that if you're hearing things like you can live like a king on $1,000 a month in the Philippines, I just have to tell you it's not true. It's not true whatsoever. And depending on who you talk to, even 1,500, there's a lot of guys that'll say, yeah, I can't live on that. Like not even close. Like there's a lot of guys that have to hit that 2K mark before they feel that they're at the level that they want to be at. And that's not to say that they are looking for luxury at that point. It's not luxurious at 2K. It's very comfortable at 2K. How about that? So until you get here and you start to kind of see what your options are, and you start to play through things on where you can save and where you want to spend, that's up to you, because food alone can really add up. If you don't want to cook and you want to go out and you don't want to eat the local food and you want to go to a nice restaurant, and you do that every single day, that's going to max your budget out. I am guilty of that. Like I've definitely spent a lot of money on eating out and eating places that I really want to eat at, where the food looks amazing and I want to sit down and eat it. That's something that I've put a lot of my budget into. Okay, I'm splicing this in. I forgot to mention this. I'm just editing right now. I'll get back to the rest of the video, but I talked to a few couples before I shot this video to get an idea of what their budget is. And all of them, 3 couples that I talked to, and I know a lot of guys want to come here and find a girlfriend, a live-in girlfriend or a wife, whatever. And if you want the setup that they have, which is comfortable setup, nothing luxurious, but enjoying their life, their retired life, doing some traveling, a very common type of lifestyle that a lot of guys want here, none of them can get under 2,000. 2 of the couples are between 2,000 and 2,500, and the other couple, who now has a small child and a full-time caregiver to help out, like a nanny, they're over 3,000, between 3,000 and 3,300. And when I asked them about what goes into that budget, it's all reasonable stuff. It's just doing the things you want to do and buying the things you want to buy, nothing excessive whatsoever. There are guys that will say, and it's not that they're lying, that they can do it for less. You can, but just know you're sacrificing things and you're eating away at your lifestyle or what your expectations are for the kind of place you're living at, where you're eating, how you're going about your life. Just trying to paint the picture accurately for you guys. All right, back to the original video. With all of this said, I think the biggest takeaway that I want to leave with you guys that I am starting to realize is that I want to enjoy my life here. I want to enjoy where I live. I want to feel good about where I live. I want to try to avoid discomforts as much as I can. And as much as you can live on a budget here, until you come here and you figure out what that actually looks like, just be careful with your planning on coming here and set your expectations right. It's doable here, guys. There's ways to save. Labor is cheap, haircuts are cheap, but you can go to the mall and get it done, or you can go into like the little village and get your haircut done. You can go to the fancy place for anything, but you can go to the basic place for anything too. And you have to figure out the things that you can sacrifice on to make sure you have the things that you really need to be comfortable here. That's it. That's the name of the game. I'm going to talk more about this kind of stuff. I just wanted to give an overview about budget here and things to think about. And hopefully that helps you out in any way. Stay tuned for more budget videos and more videos on a bunch of other stuff about life here in the Philippines. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys soon. Bye.